Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tabitha and I am the maker and creator behind Safari Stitches, and I do a lot of market prepping, crochet content, market recaps, all sorts of really fun crafty things. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in checking out, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. So today is a market recap video. If you didn't already realize that from the thumbnail and the title of this video, I had a market on Sunday, March 16th. It was a 5-hour market. It went from 11 to 4. I've never done a Sunday market. I will give a little bit of background on this one. So this is the second market I have done at this venue. And I did not know anybody that had done this event in particular. So this was kind of going in blind for me. I had no idea how it was going to be. I've never shopped at this one either in previous years, as in like gone and been a customer. So it was all around a new experience. It was supposed to be on Saturday, March 15th. But if you are in the South, you know that March 15th, there was a crazy destructive line of storms that went through the South. It created wreaked a lot of havoc. We were extremely fortunate in that we really didn't get much other than wind, rain, and some lightning and thunder. We did have tornado warnings and stuff, and we spent the evening pretty much in the basement watching the news and the weather, but we were extremely fortunate, and I know there are a lot of people out there that were not. So if you were in the path of all of those storms last weekend, I hope you are safe, and I hope there wasn't too much damage. All of that to say, they did decide, for safety reasons, to postpone the event. They provide tents and everything, and their tent vendor couldn't set up because of the weather. They still couldn't set up on Sunday because it was still pretty windy as well. So they did postpone it from the Saturday to the Sunday. So I was already kind of like, oh, I don't know how it's going to be. They did give us the option when they postponed it. They were like, oh, well, you can either join us on Sunday and still set up, or you can apply your vendor fee to a future market put on by them specifically, or get a full refund. And I was just like, I haven't done a market since in February. I don't have another one until the end of April. It was like, I really need to do something. So I was just like, I'm just going to go ahead and set up. We'll see how it goes. Cross our fingers. And honestly, I am so curious how this event would have gone if it hadn't been rescheduled. We'll go through all of my sales. I'll show you guys some footage of us setting up. Unfortunately, my camera died. No, sorry. My camera didn't die. My SIM card got full while we were there, so I wasn't able to film a whole lot. I got some of our setup, and then I have a little bit of footage of the final table layout, which I'm kind of obsessed with how this table ended up. So we're just going to get right into it. So let's go set up at the market. so as you saw us setting up. A couple of vendors that I have met before came over and talked, and we chatted a little bit, which is always kind of nice. I always say, like, one of the most important things if you're going to do in-person events is to network with other vendors, especially other vendors that are outside of your niche, because they're more likely to share where they set up. Um, I will say I was one of two crocheters. Originally there was three, but one pulled out because of the reschedule. The other one only sold clothing. So I was the only one selling plushies, which was fantastic. I'm trying to think. I was pretty much in the same place that I was set up before, which I kind of like because it's almost like creating a consistency with your customers because it's set up at a brewery. So you're going to get a lot of unique customers, but you also might get repeat customers as well. And they'll like see your table and like, oh my gosh, you were here last time. So you're kind of building a foundation, I guess, with some of the customers that go regularly. So I kind of liked that. It was kind of fun. Um, the it was I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. It was very busy as far as foot traffic, but not a whole lot of people were actually shopping. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was packed. There were so many people, but I'm thinking because it was a rescheduled event, people weren't there necessarily to shop like they would have been for the Saturday. So for the amount of money that I actually made for, like during the, I guess it was 5 hours, it was 11 to 4. I'm thrilled. So I guess we're just gonna get right into it. Obviously, I did not film an inventory, like a pre-market inventory clip this time, because that can get really long, and honestly, all that really matters is like what sold. There are things that I know off the top of my head like didn't get any attention or didn't sell, so I will mention those, but I'm just curious. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. I have all of my orders pulled up right here, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my computer to tell you what sold. So we're just gonna get right into it. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. So the first thing, or the first sale we made at 10:45, which was 15 minutes before the event even started. It was another vendor. And she bought my Rory the Lion plushie for $35 and a gray speckle crochet chicken for 15. It was a Mabel the chicken. And of course, I will link all of the patterns that I mentioned in this video that sold below. So if you want to make some yourself, you can. The next sale wasn't until 11:45, so it was an hour in between the first and second sale, and it was a mini loaf cat for 12. So like I said, it was like there was a ton of traffic. It was crazy, but hardly anybody was really buying anything. The next sale was at 12, and it was a fox snuggler for $45. Next was another mini loaf cat, actually two mini loaf cats. I don't know what color. I think they were the brown loaf cats, and those sold for 12 each, total of 24. Next was a yellow baby bee for $10. Next was at 12:20, so we kind of had like a succession of a lot of purchases made within like 20 minutes. I sold an octo keychain for $8. The next purchase was at 12:20 exactly again, and she bought a large cow snuggler for 45, a llama snuggler for 45, and a mallard duck snuggler for $35 for a total of $125. I think that was the biggest sale of the day. Next, we went a whole 27 minutes before the next sale. It was at 12:47, and it was a large loaf cat. It was just like a dark gray tabby cat for 25. The next sale was at 12:48, and it was for another mini loaf cat for 12. Then I sold a small possum for 15, and that was all the way at 2 o'clock. So we went more than an hour before the next sale. The next one was a brown speckle hatching chick for $18. Next, at $2.05, we sold a $12 mini love cat. Next, we sold our last cow plushie for $35. I really wish I had had time to make more of those. Next was one of the the small Della Duck Snuggler. It was yellow and she had a little pink headband on for $30. The next sale was, I think, probably our second biggest purchase of the day. I sold my elephant plushie for $35. I sold one of my Trunk the Turtles for $18, and I sold a large bumblebee for $18. The next sale was one of my medium whales for $15. Next was my last large sea turtle for $30. It was a purple shelled sea turtle. Next, I sold 2 car coasters. I sold one of the lavender ones, which I was super excited about, and then I sold one with a purple flower on it. So they kind of matched, which was really cute. And those were $10 each for a total of $20. The next sale was my second and final Trunk the Turtle for $18. I had so much fun selling those, and that was, I displayed them. I don't know if you can see it in my video, but I displayed one with the shell backpack attached, and then I had one with the shell backpack off so you could kind of see his butt. And when I sold the first one, obviously I couldn't just have one either way. So I had to display the one with the shell on. And when the guy picked it up, he was like, "Oh my gosh, this turtle's so cute." And I was like, "Well, if you take off his shell, there's a little surprise in it there." And he looked at me, and he was probably my age. He looked at me, he's like, "Oh my gosh, is it his butt?" And he got like this funny grin on his face. It was hysterical. And I was like, "Yeah, it is." So he took it off. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I have to get it now." So he ended up getting that. And that was at 2:45. So 2 to 3 was pretty busy. The next sale was another possum for $15. And then we sold one of my my smaller sea turtles for $18. Next was a white chubby duck, which the white ones don't really sell as well as the mallard version, but this time I don't think I sold a single mallard chubby duck. I think I only sold this one white one. Next was a $10 pink baby bee. The bees did a lot better this time. The next one was another $15 small whale in blue and white. I only have one left of those. So I had 3. I sold 2 of the 3. So that was a pretty good seller for me this time. Next was a rainbow baby bee. Now we're at 3:30, so we have half an hour left. The next sale at 3:31 was a yellow baby bee for $10. And then the next one was another baby bee that was blue for $10. And that was the last sale of the day. That was at 3:38. So the last like 22 minutes or so, I didn't sell another thing. Like I said, it was super slow from a like shopper standpoint, but there was a lot of foot traffic. So it was a very interesting dynamic at this event. Let me go back to so it was a total of 27 transactions that day for a total of 34 items that were bought. And it was a total of $731.82. And that includes taxes and everything. So I am extremely, extremely, extremely thrilled with how well that went. Like I said, I'll be very curious to see how this market would have been if it hadn't been rescheduled. But overall, like I said, very happy with it. I now have, I think my next market is April 27th, I believe. That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was enlightening. I hope you maybe found a new pattern that you want to try out at your own markets or even for selling online. And yeah, again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is the kind of content I do on here. I've got a few ideas for some stuff coming up in the future that I'm really excited about, so stick around and make sure you catch all of the videos by subscribing to the channel, like this video, and again, in the comments, if you were working on anything while you were watching this video, make sure you let us know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.